everybody. Today's chore is a fun one. It is redoing these chairs, and part of that setup is sanding them down to take some of the gloss off of the original chair. Now, I learned this technique when I was resurfacing the bathtub a couple years back, and we're going to use the same technique as we did then. Now, what I got here is I got this tripod set up so that you can see some of it as we go along. And first we got a mouse sander. It's my favorite sanding tool. Takes a lot of the work out of it. And what you do is, this is an old model, it's kind of beat up, but you take this off, and here's a sandpaper shaped just like the mouse. This is the base of the mouse, and you then take your sandpaper that you're going to be using, and I am going to be using this 120 grit sandpaper. I was going to use my 400 grit, but then I would have to use the orbital sander, and the orbital sander's fine for certain projects, but our mouse would get into these tight crevices of the chair a whole lot better. So we're going to sand them, and then at a later time we will wash them, and then we will paint them. So this has got a surface that will attach to the Velcro. You just stick it on there like that, make sure it's good and lined up. And then we're good to go. Now, when you use the sander, it's a power sander. As with all power tools, you should know how to use them. Okay, this is our on and off buttons. It's going to vibrate like this. And even though it's vibrating back and forth on its own accord, you do not just hold it in one place. You must keep moving your hand too. Otherwise, it just won't work properly, and you'll burn your motor out of your tool. And none of us can afford them one time around, let alone more than once around. So anyway, we are going to plug in the sander here. And then we're going to work on top of the table. And here is our first chair. It's not in too bad condition, but you can see the little bit of a shine here. We don't have to worry about sanding smooth. We just need to get some of that shine off. Because what will happen if we don't have a place for the paint to adhere to and just slides this way, your paint will smear and smudge, might even fall right off the chair. So that's what we're working on. I'm going to show you how this is done. We're going to turn it on now. Not too loud. See, you're going to go just like that. You can see we're taking some of that shine off right as we speak. Okay, you can see where this has now been roughed up. And actually, it is way too rough. We don't want that. We want it smooth. So I'm actually going to have to go and get the other sanding mechanism, and I will return. Good evening, everybody. I'm just showing you now. You remember what they looked like from the last video. This is after a good scrubbing with Clorox water and the jet feature on the water hose. You can see it's much improved. And here's with the chair. This chair. I'm pretty pleased. Most of this will not need another scrubbing, except for this last chair, which we're coming on right here. We'll get just a little scrubbing here on the side, see if we can't get more of that off. And see, this was that big dirty chair. And see, a lot of that moss and goop is all gone. We will be scrubbing this one more time. I think we might get more off, I'm not sure. And the power wash on the jet feature of the water hose was a big help. Now we'll come over here and I'll show you my scrub brush that I used. I got this scrub brush from my sister-in-law Jackie. She's beautiful. I kind of hate having to have her do dirty work like this, but she fits my hands so nicely, and she fits in these little nooks and crannies of the chair so well too. So this is just another phase. Tomorrow we will scrub those two pieces of furniture yet again. Let them air dry really good. We will then double check every one of these furnitures, make sure they're smooth enough but not too smooth for the painting, and probably will paint on Friday or Saturday, depending on the weather. So good night. Okay, now you can see that I brought the proper equipment right here. This is an orbital sander. It's a square base, and we have a little different way of attaching the paper. And you'll see why I prefer the other one. It's a little easier to attach everything. You unspring the springs on both sides, and then you just pull this paper out. And we'll save this paper. See, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a very heavy grit paper. Now this is what they call a 400 grit paper. It's very fine sand. So we're going to attach it. See what I'm doing here? We're just putting it through this loop here. Okay, one end is secured. Now we just do the same on the other end. You lift this side up so that it releases the thing there. And see, it's on. Now, this is its on and off button. This is a dust collecting bag system. And with this too, you cannot hold it in one place. Now we'll show you how this goes. Now you can see the difference in the noise level on here, but this side is almost smooth. We will keep going on it just a little bit longer and we'll be good to go. And I'll show you once the chair is completely done. Alright, now you can see it. It did change some of the color. That's the dye that was within the plastic. But we have one chair done. It's smooth. You don't feel bad touching it at all. And yet there's just a little bit of an etch on there so that it will uptake the paint. So one chair down, several to go. Hi everybody. We're going to be now working on these chairs. I've already checked them. They're as clean as can be. They also are as smooth as possible, which is very good news. We have no additional sanding to do. We're going to use these sawhorses here. Let's see, yeah, there you can see them. And we're going to put a piece of wood, probably some plywood of some sort, and then we're going to put a chair on top of it so it's a little easier for us with spray painting. And as you can see, the house is right behind us, and right over there's the garage. And with spray paint, it gets carried on the wind quite a lot. So we actually are going to take all this stuff down into this general area here and spray paint down here, because we don't want anything hitting the house. Now, you have to always check your paint can's instructions, and I've already done it. So we're working all right with that. Now, when you use a spray can, and this is what the top is going to look like. Let me see. All right, let's see. Where can we get that can on there? There. See, right there's the spray can. And what you have to do is you have that black spot there. That is where this paint will come out. You do have to shake this can quite heavily so that you mix it up real well and get the propellants out. And then you're going to take that there and you're going to move it up and down, and you have to be about 8 inches away from the object, sometimes a little closer, sometimes a little far away, depending on the manufacturer. And you just go up and down until you fill up the whole painting sequence. So that's what we're working on today. And when it's all done, we'll give you a final look. Bye now.